Welcome to Fragmental.
An amusing take on random topics. So I was on Twitter earlier today. Yeah, earlier today, and I think Thanks, Mike.
Sorry, that's great content.
Exactly. And I was on Twitter, and the Barstool Sports had this big old fat dude. Like, he just rips his shirt off with like the weatherman. And
where was this?
I don't know. It was the it must have been it's the Washington guy, right?
Is that the guy?
Yeah,
who,
I think so.
I don't know if you saw when the Nats won the World Series.
I didn't watch the World Series at all.
Rips his shirt off like right after they won, and like does like slides across on his stomach on the top of the dugout. I mean, this guy's a big dude. I mean,
well,
it had to be
350. He had to be. I mean, it had to be the same guy. And even the weatherman rips his shirt off, and they chest bump together.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's Twitter's funny to me. It's all types of stuff out there. I mean, our Twitter account, we're following a bunch of different people. So, like Barstool and do we do Bleacher? I don't think we follow Bleacher though, do we?
I don't think so.
We should probably follow.
We could, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we could.
That's awesome. Just from social media, that dude went from just being a drunk fat fan or just a crazy fat fan. Whatever,
yeah, absolutely.
To dude is on the news, and because it's on Barstool Sports, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people are going to see this guy and know who he is now.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can't find let me see if I can find it again. Where cuz you can tell like the follows or the retweets or all that kind of fun stuff. So, give me just a second here.
And the World Series just ended like 2 days ago. So, I mean,
yeah. Dude,
this guy's 15 minutes of fame are now stretching into multiple days. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. No, it's Twitter and just regular the social media alone is like, oh, here it is. Nothing better than guys being dudes celebrating the World Series. So absolutely. So it's 341,000 views.
Damn.
4,300 likes and 346 retweets. Actually, I'm sorry. As I'm speaking, the likes are going up. The
right,
numbers
so it's
changing.
probably just posted today. I bet you.
Yeah, 4 hours ago.
I bet you it hits 1 million before, whatever. I don't social media enough to know like does stuff die online or whatever, but I bet that hits 1 million before it's said and done.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, you've got people. Obviously Facebook is the big one. That's when everybody thinks social media, they think Facebook, but there's Twitter, there's Instagram, Facebook, obviously. I mean, technically LinkedIn, that the business, like the professional site that's social media.
It's still a type of social media.
It's a type of social media, absolutely. So
it's not as much crazy stuff some people do, but
well, that's. I'm on LinkedIn. I think are you on?
I'm on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
I mean, I would say it's probably less than updated, but
yeah.
I am on there.
Yeah. It's a networking site. It's a business networking site. That's the one thing about LinkedIn. It just irritates the shit out of me. It's like you get people on there, like professional people, and they'll post stuff about like their industry or like, hey, this is cool.
Like, look at this steel, whatever.
Yeah, or I'm in this industry and this is cool because we're doing this or whatever.
Yeah,
it's all business related. It's like when people start posting their fucking like family pictures and like, hey, this is my son's graduation. You're like, dude, that's for Facebook. You got the wrong fucking thing here. It's like it's not being. It's weird because you're trying to be. It's like a professional site, and I use professionals in air quotes, but not being professional. The other thing that kind of I'm not pissed by it. It's kind of like I kind of cock my head is where they're like, hey, I just got my temp job or my internship at like GSK or Price Waterhouse or whatever. I'm like, I don't fucking care. I mean, you're a junior in college.
Right. Again, put that on Facebook or whatever else. It's a professional thing. You can update your profile or whatever with that. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It is kind of weird. So first of all, I mean, the dude who created LinkedIn's a billionaire.
Yeah. Is he one of the PayPal guys?
I don't remember.
They call it the PayPal Mafia. Have you heard of these guys?
No.
So the 5 guys that started PayPal, and they're all billionaires right off the bat. So it's guys like Jack Dorsey, that's Twitter. I can't think of the other, but there's somebody else that I think the guy that did Salesforce, Benoff. I don't know. Anyway, there's like these 5 guys, and they're called like the PayPal Mafia because every one of them made a boatload of money off of that, and then went and did almost the same exact thing in other type of social
Yeah.
media sites.
I mean, the dude that created Twitter, I didn't realize he was from PayPal.
Yeah, he's a
God
original
damn, that
pa-
dude is loaded.
Yeah, Dorsey.
That guy gives away a ton of money.
What he does something else too. What's the other thing he does? I can't think of the other thing he does. He's got like two things going on at the same time.
But he does a ton of philanthropy. I mean, he's not just a guy that,
Jack Dorsey does a ton of philanthropy.
Is that the Twitter guy?
Yeah.
Whoever the Twitter guy is does, because I follow him. Isn't it Polsky or something?
No, Jack Dorsey is the Twitter guy.
No, this guy said he's from Twitter.
You got scammed. Did he have?
I'm pretty
did
sure
you-
it's not scammed. Everybody follows this guy.
Yeah. Did you send him money?
No, he sends everybody else money.
Oh no, that's a different dude. That's the guy who's giving away like $1,000 to anybody.
almost
that replies.
every day.
Yeah, that's
Isn't
a
he
different
the
guy.
Twitter guy?
No, he's not. He's some guy. He's just some rich guy giving away money.
Huh.
I think he's trying to be president or something.
Well, he's buying his way there, one person at a time.
I got him. Since our fact checker isn't really
Hasn't listened in like 8 episodes.
8, I think in 16
I'm trying to give her credit. Well, she listened to like an hour.
of all 17.
Right. I don't
Combined.
think it was an episode. I think she
Yeah.
listened to like 20 minutes of 3 and it was like, God, these guys are awful.
Their facts are so fucking wrong.
Right.
I can't do my full-time job and this at the same time.
They're not even, the only fact they say is welcome to Fragmental. And you know what? I'm not welcome.
Here's PayPal Mafia. I got to look this up just so I can be checked. Elon Musk was PayPal.
Was he?
Yeah. So,
Damn.
Former group of PayPal employees and founders who have since founded and developed other technologies. Tesla, LinkedIn, Plantar, I don't know what that is, SpaceX, that's Musk again, YouTube, Yelp, and Yammer.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It wasn't, Dorsey wasn't a PayPal guy. Peter Thiel, you've heard of Peter Thiel, right?
Yeah.
Elon Musk, Reid Hoffman, Luke Norris, Ken Howry, and Keith Rabois became billionaires. But those are the guys they've from off of PayPal. They've done other things. I mean, Tesla and SpaceX. That's Musk is crazy smart and just crazy in general. But
yeah, just want to do whatever. I mean, social media is off the charts now. I mean, everybody, dude, is there, besides me, I mean, seriously, what percentage of the population doesn't have Facebook? Got to be less than 10 at this point, right?
well,
The U.S. population.
Yeah,
right? I'm not going to factor in third world and all that shit.
you know what? I don't even. It's got to be up there. I mean, like when my aunts and shit get on, it's like okay, this is it's really.
I mean, we've talked about that part a little.
Yeah.
Old people love it because it's a way to connect. Somebody told me like they just connected with somebody they went to high school with like 50 years ago. Haven't seen that person since they were in high school. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, a lot of times you and I are railing on social media because like the negative side of it. And trust me, there's probably
There's plenty of negative.
there's plenty of negative, but I think that overtakes the positive for a lot of things. Like there's some really cool shit. Like I was on Twitter there earlier. I was watching some kid. It must have been like a door cam or something, and he ran up to somebody had left a bowl outside, and it was empty. And the kid reached into his bag, took his own candy, and put it in the bowl.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So there's positives in here. It's just that I think the negatives just outweigh the. I mean,
There's probably more negative, but you're right. In some cases, you get to see the good in people, which I'm sorry, in today's day and age, is kind of going away.
well, I don't know if is it going away or is it just being overshadowed? I mean, is the negative because everybody loves a train wreck, so everybody focuses on the train wreck.
Yeah, maybe.
So. I don't know.
I feel you're right. I think people were more focused on being offended or finding something shitty than they are finding something good. But even when you see something good on social media, like look at this, this kid helped this old lady cross the street, and then there's still all the trolls that are like, yeah, well, I bet he robbed the bitch after the camera was off.
After he crossed the street, he knocked her down, raped her, and took her money.
Yeah, I mean you're probably right, but I mean social media shows some of those good things, but I think it does a lot of bad shit too, man. I mean, so let's go with both, right? So on one hand, you get to find people that are like-minded, right? So people who aren't as social are able to now connect with people, right? You or I could walk into a room of people we don't know, and we're gonna walk away with 10 friends most likely.
5 from me.
Right. Well, I know it takes you a minute to warm up.
Yeah.
I walk in like, "What's up?"
Meow meow meow. You have your own like entrance music.
They're like, is this guy a DJ?
You walk through the door, it's like meow meow meow. Mike's in the room.
Here comes Mike.
Meow, meow, meow.
They're like, what? Where's the music coming from?
Remember the Family Guy episode where he had his own
soundtrack.
sound? Yeah, his own soundtrack.
One of my other favorite Family Guys, we've talked about Michael McDonald on here a little bit, is when he was Peter's personal soundtrack. And I remember Peter lifting up his leg and farting, and Michael McDonald going, oh, sorry. That is not social media. But
where were we?
But, people get to find people they got things in common with. So that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And whether it's they get together and do things or they're just friends online, whatever, like all of a sudden people who may have struggled in the past actually have an outlet now. And it helps them come out of their shell a little bit because they're finding things like, oh, you play video games. Sweet. We both play video games. And we both go on Pornhub. Fuck yeah. I mean.
Actually, is there a Pornhub Facebook page?
I mean, there's Pornhub Aria. I don't know if.
Does she have a Facebook page?
Oh, Facebook. See, I don't Facebook, so that's. I don't think Pornhub needs Facebook.
Probably not.
Do they have their own Twitter or just Aria's Twitter page?
That would be. I think Pornhub Aria is their Twitter page. Is the Twitter person. I think she's
just like the spokesperson.
They just named it Pornhub Aria to maybe. I don't know.
She's funny. Like she doesn't. It's not like she's just on there like.
It's not like we
look
follow
at all
her
these
or anything.
blowjob scenes. She'll say funny stuff.
Well, yeah,
and then everybody's like, "I love your ass blowjob
scene." To be honest, from a Twitter perspective, I think one of the best is Wendy's. Wendy's has literally, the best social media.
Hey, check me out. They've got a sweet tweet game.
Yeah, there you go, a sweet tweet game. They just fucking hammer everybody. It's awesome.
Do. Everybody loves it.
Yeah. Well, and people are copying them. Other businesses are copying them. It's just like, somebody says something about Burger King. And it's like something about what was it about? You should go to like a more round. You should go to round or something about natural something. And the guy from whoever does their Twitter page is just like, oh, you mean like the all natural, fresh from the farm round burgers? You know what I mean? Or something like that. It was great.
No, but the Wendy's guys are great. I mean, they're seriously. I think they got a shitload of followers just because they're funny. Not even because people love Wendy's, but it's because they're funny.
Hey, look, not because we're in Columbus and that's where they're headquartered. I'm a bigger Wendy's fan now than I have been. Double stacks. Got to go with the double stack.
Oh, it's a damn good sandwich.
It is, yeah.
Double stacks and spicy chicken. A
double stack is like the perfect burger. I don't know why. It's the perfect burger.
Dude, when I was in high school, a double stack was a little different then. Dude, it was 99 cents. It was on the biggie menu.
I think it still is.
So we would go there. No, it's a couple bucks, I think, now.
Is it? Motherfuckers.
But when we were in high school, you'd get like 2 double stacks and a biggie fry. Like $2.97. Yeah. And, dude, that was a meal.
Yeah, it's some food.
Yeah, it was good shit.
Well, where were we?
Yeah, so we talk about the like-minded thing.
Yeah.
You get to see some of the good things. But, man, dude, I think also, not a great subject, but I think social media has allowed, racists and assholes to kind of come out of the woodwork again.
Well, it's the thing of, like, what do they call it? The echo chamber, right? It's an echo chamber. So you get to your point where you find some... If there's nobody in your town or your school or whatever that does this one thing you do, but you find somebody else that does it and you've got some commonality, that's great. But then what happens is, and I find myself actually, this is happening to me too, and I'm trying to like catch it and broaden it out, but where you start just kind of focusing on those stories and those things in Facebook and Twitter and whatever that you agree with. Now you never hear the other side of the story.
Yeah.
So it's like you start driving down this rabbit hole of like, well, they're completely wrong, I'm completely right, but you've never really listened to their other side because you're just in this echo chamber of the same shit going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So,
but I think that's open. To a certain extent, racism's made a resurgence because of it. And I think people, because you could still be pseudo-anonymous with it, right?
Yeah.
Like you can have a handle that doesn't say your name.
Right.
In your picture is whatever, something from online.
Right.
So I think it's allowed a little bit of a resurgence on all sides. So it's that side of it kind of pisses me off. Like, and dude, other than our Twitter page and LinkedIn, I have no social media.
Yeah.
And those are things that piss me off. Or even when you're just looking at, the comments on like whatever USA Today or whatever. Wherever you're CNN, whatever, and you just see all that, the trolls and shit like that. I mean, it's annoying because some of those people just say awful shit. They're just trying to mess with people and they're just getting off on it, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's the anonymity of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's, hey, look, if nobody knows who I am and I can say all kinds of shit, and there's no repercussions for what I'm saying. Fucking, people do it all day long. I mean, that's awful. That's awful.
And that's how like the catfish things come out.
Oh, the catfish thing is like my wife hates when I watch it, but that's the it's an insane show. I mean, because the guy, what's his name? Neve, yeah,
good Jewish guy right there.
Good-hearted Jewish guy. No yarmulke though. Just saying.
Yeah, but dude, look at that chest hair. Dude, only a Jewish man
There's no gold
rocking
though.
The body hair is, well, I mean, it's lost in the chest hair. It's there.
It's covered up in the chest hair.
it's dearth of hair.
Yeah. I mean, that's how he started the show, was because he was catfished. So
I mean, I'm sorry, but I think to catfish somebody, you're a piece of shit to do that.
So here's the flip. Here's my take on it too. Sometimes if you're intentionally doing it, like I'm gonna go fuck with this person, that's one thing. Some of these that I see, they're so insecure about who they are and what they look like that they don't think anybody will like them or whatever. So they create these fucking personalities that of some, like, oh my god, this chick is hot, or this dude looks great and he's into sports, he's in athletics.
Look at that dong.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know if you put that on Facebook or not, but it's the
Twitter you can.
Yeah, probably Twitter you could.
Anyways,
but that's the flip side of it. You've got the people that are super insecure and the people that are just out to fuck with people.
Yeah.
I saw one where the dude was like, he looked nothing like his picture, led this chick on for like a year or whatever, and they're like, so do you feel bad about this? And he's like, no.
No, it's just something to do. And that's why, I mean, those are the people who are pieces of shit.
Right.
Because you're also, like, the people who really latch onto that, have a ton of insecurity. Because somebody who's very secure is going to be like, dude, whatever. Jennifer, we've been talking for 3 months. We haven't FaceTime.
Right. We
haven't Skyped. We haven't met each other. According to what you tell me, you live 45 minutes away from me. Why am I so goddamn blue-balled? Like, we even have phone sex. Like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah.
But I can't see you. Like, you'd be like, yeah, I'm out. But somebody who's really insecure would be like, oh, yeah, you're busy all the time.
Right.
Just you let me know when you're not, because I will drop everything. I mean, those are the people I think get catfished. I'm extreme with how I'm making them sound, but they have a lot of insecurity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the anonymity of the whole thing. Because you can put, and like you said, you can put any picture up there. You can make any name, and then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, and people do it all the time, and that's the one thing I like about the Neve guy. Like, the first thing they do is a Google search, on the picture, and it almost always pulls back.
Stock photo.
Yeah, I mean, immediately.
Yeah,
and then they get frustrated. They're like, we pulled this up in like less than 2 minutes. You've never thought of this? They're like, no. She's beautiful.
Right. She's a fucking model. Right. It's literally Christy Brinkley.
Yeah, right. If you weren't 22 years old, you would know.
Yeah. That this is Christy Brinkley when she was 20.
You're right, though.
I don't know why I came out with Christy Brinkley. That's a real...
You know what, though? Dude, she is still absolutely gorgeous. Great shape. And if it's all, I mean, there's probably a certain amount of plastic surgery there. But if I would hire her.
I don't think there is.
She's just that. I mean, she looks incredible.
I guess her ex-husband's marrying some like 22-year-old or 23-year-old. Yeah, I know.
Like, what do they have in common besides they both like money?
That's about it.
She likes dick. I mean, he likes poon, whatever. Yeah. But outside of those two things,
I don't know.
I mean, he's probably going to blow her mind because she's like 20.
Right.
She's probably like, I've only slept with 3 dudes. And he's like, that's fine. I'll teach you.
In this day and age, she slept with 3 dudes yesterday.
That's fair. Hey, social media's really made that easy.
Tinder?
I mean, you just go anywhere, right? And just think, well, I'm in, whatever.
East Bejesus, Iowa.
for the weekend. Let's see who's out here.
Swipe, swipe, swipe. Yeah, absolutely. That's another angle too. You know what I mean? It's made that easy, a lot easier.
Dating's been good.
Yep.
Just random hookups have been there.
I don't know what I would have done with Tinder when I was single.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in a relationship for so long, I don't know either. But I'm still just glad there wasn't camera phones everywhere.
Oh, the shit we got away with back in the day was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I almost feel bad for the kids. Like, man, you got to work really hard to do the shit we did. You guys are millennials. You don't have that.
Yeah, no.
You're not working that hard.
Put this camera down. I think it was like they were interviewing like the 85 Bears, and they said, you know, they actually said that too. Like when they would go into Chicago, like we got away with a lot because we didn't have camera phones and shit like that. You know, the Bears in the city on a weekend. You know?
Oh God, dude, just how great would it have been to be an athlete in the 80s and 90s? Seriously.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because you weren't everywhere.
Right. No, not everybody was out to get you. You know, had their phone to try to catch you doing something.
Right.
You know, those guys were just plowing tail left and right. But in not saying they were just being assholes. Dude, those chicks wanted to say, I got fucked by Jim McMahon or whatever.
I always said John McMahon. I don't know what the fuck John.
You know, maybe.
John McEnroe.
John McEnroe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, they're probably like, man, this guy gets really aggressive on the tennis court. I wonder what he's like in bed.
He's quiet. He just lays there.
Let's find out. He's a rabid fuck. Sorry. You guys couldn't see the visual, but it was great.
That's why I'm laughing.
So we're talking about dating, but you know what else that's been good? Like the cam girls. Like
from a
free
marketing.
advertising?
Yeah, free advertising marketing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, nobody would know who they were. Like back in the day, right? It had to be like a commercial on at 2:00 in the morning with a 976 number.
Yeah.
So now it's not like you got to be like, hey guys, please call 1976 such and such for my hole, and, for the low price of $2.99 a minute. It's free, so they're getting free advertising. And on Twitter, you can show whatever. It's crazy. Like there's
welcome to social media, Mike.
Facebook you can't though, right? Don't they
probably
censor
not.
that? I mean,
yeah.
I guess you can post it.
Here's what's fun about the cam girls and your 976 stuff. So they advertise on TV, which they have to pay for,
right?
And you have to pay $2.99 or whatever. Now they advertise for free, but you can't get in for now. You got to get in for like $8.99.
Yeah,
but it's like.
Yeah, but now you're not just talking to a girl. Like, she's literally there like, hey, want to see me take a dildo? You know? Do you think I can take it all? Another $5 and I'm...
Yeah, exactly.
I presume that's what it's like.
I'm sure it's like a tease for like 29 minutes. And then like on the between 29 and 30, it's like, you want me to do this? And you're like, yes! Your time is up. I'm sorry, you got to pay.
But if it takes that long, does it start out with like 50 viewers and by the end of it, it's like 15 because the other 35 have already jizzed?
It's possible.
Like, who the hell's ever made it to the end of a porno? I haven't.
I'd love to know who's actually watched an entire one.
That's what I'm saying. Who's sat? You know, I've never once been able to... You know, I may not plan on jacking off, but I'm going to.
It's so funny. Like your wife walks in, like, I didn't plan to do this.
I thought you were observing for the podcast. I started that way, but look at her take that.
There's 3 guys.
It's a 3-way with all women. What else am I going to do? I'm the only dick in the room.
I didn't plan for this.
Babe, you know as well as I do, it's not going to jack itself. Wait a minute. Are you admitting?
I can hear you actually say that to your wife. Be like, hey, look, I didn't plan for this.
Look, it happened, okay?
Yeah.
Don't judge me.
You know what you married.
Right. You've known this for years. Don't act like it's the first time you've walked in.
Don't act surprised. You didn't plan for this either.
You should be happy that there isn't a puddle waiting on you coming back from the bathroom.
Oh, shit, that's fun. I gotta write some of this. Our tag, some of our like the hey, that's good water, and like I didn't plan for this. That'll go on our merch. That'll be our merch.
On our merch. The best part will be explaining. So what didn't you plan for? Well, it all started. We were talking about social media.
No. It's so. What do you mean by you didn't plan for this? Listen to episode 18. Yeah, you got to plug.
Nice.
You got to make the plug.
That's way better than what I would probably
this
have said.
This is 18. So yeah, absolutely. So back to and then Instagram's the other one. Instagram's the other kind of platform for.
Well, that's more right. That's literally only pictures and videos, right? I mean, there's comments, but it's not like right. Twitter and Facebook, you can just make a comment and that's it.
Yeah.
So, am I right or wrong?
No, it's.
I mean, I've only looked at Instagram a little bit, but I'm not on it.
It's so obviously the part of it's Gram, but yeah, it's mostly pictures and videos, and they call them stories. You can record these like short kind of videos and stuff like that. So it's a mix. I mean, Instagram's fun for me in the sense that like my personal Instagram account, I don't post a lot until I travel. So I've got this little purple monkey thing. It was I think it's a Zyrtec monkey. My wife had it when whoever the Zyrtec rep gave it to her or whatever, and I just took it from her. We weren't even dating yet, and I just I like this monkey, and I just took it. So that's I call it Purple Monkey Traveler. So it's a hat.
So you take it wherever you go.
So I take pictures of it as we go, and I hashtag it Purple Monkey Traveler. So I have these pictures. Yeah. So.
Now that's one area where it is really cool, and Facebook too.
Yeah,
is like you can now instead of being like, "Hey, next time you come over, we'll look at my 400 pictures."
Yeah,
you're like, "Oh, check me out on Instagram. I just posted like 50 things from our trip to wherever."
Yeah,
and people they can go there with you essentially.
Yeah,
right?
And they can follow because if you're posting along the line, like on the days, like every day, they can follow your trip. You know what I mean? So
well, that's how those like the people we hate who are paid to just travel. But that's how they're doing it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
People are just infatuated with looking at their experience, living it through their eyes. Like, when am I going to go to the Australian bush? Probably never. But I can sure watch these guys do it.
There's a funny thing. I mean, where a buddy of mine knows that, like, the guy was saying, hey, it's not like he was... I get the impression that he wasn't, like, trying to do this. It was just like, hey, man, these are really good shoes or whatever. And the company found out, like, he was a model or whatever, and people followed him on Instagram. And the company would send him shoes. Hey, try these out. He's like, yeah, these are really cool shoes. And they generated kind of sales from that way, right? Because essentially free advertising, and just to get free stuff. But I think there's honestly people out there that are like, hey, I use this is stuff I use, and I travel quite a bit. I mean, if I follow like a professional photographer on Instagram, and he's saying I use these, and as long as he's not bullshitting me, which he very well could be, like, okay, here's a professional guy that uses this equipment and stuff. Then I'm kind of like,
but what if he's not actually getting paid to do it, but he's saying like took this with because I know you're a photography guy,
right?
Says he took it with X lens or whatever, right? Like that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. And even if he's not getting paid for it, but if the company sends him like new lenses, here's what I like to see: if somebody sends him a new lens and he's like, hey, so and so's got this new lens, you know what? It might be good for you. It's not really good for me. Like get a real true kind of picture of it, but. If you keep doing, they're probably not gonna send you shit. So you're probably gonna be like that. But Instagram is with respect to the cam whore thing. That Instagram's another one where, like, they're showing like half a tit, and it's like if you want to see the rest of it, come join this web page of mine or whatever it is.
Instagram, you can do whatever you want, or no? Is it still regulated? Right, because Facebook's a little more family oriented. Yeah. Right? Instagram's probably a little bit of both.
I don't even know. I mean, I haven't really dove into the fucking dark side of Facebook.
See if your dong pics are still on there.
My dong pics are not on there. But I think.
So, I mean, so that's funny, though. Like, look at my go to my page if you want to see the rest of my tit, or go to Twitter and you can see my vag as well. Because they put everything on there.
Well, but...
Now, dude, that's how I discovered who Kimmy Granger is, who is now my favorite porn star. Like... Literally, people were posting videos of her riding a dick like it's the Kentucky Derby. And it's like, good God, who is she and how do I marry her? You know what I mean?
How do I marry her without letting my wife know?
She might be down. No, she would not be down.
She might. No.
Not even in my dreams.
That's funny. Rounding third with a head lead, Kimmy Granger.
But I mean, that's how I like.
By 3 furloughs.
because somebody else who either we follow or follows us, I still am pretty bad at it,
Yeah.
posted a video of her grinding the shit out of a guy. And I'm like, oh my God, who is this? And then I clicked on her page or whatever, and I was like, oh my God, she's beautiful. And those hips don't lie. Isn't that what, and what was her name?
Shakira. Yeah.
Her Kimmy Granger's her hips don't lie either.
I'm sure her lips don't either.
No, they don't. They milk just as well as the hips do.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess it's both. It's kind of it's how much do you want to give away.
Yeah. Well, for them, right, they're only showing you like a 15-second scene, which for some is more than enough. But
it's enough to get you interested.
It's certainly enough to get you interested. If nothing else, it's enough to make somebody go to Pornhub.
Right.
I've heard.
From what I hear. I hear it's a pretty popular site from what I understand.
Yeah, I've heard a few people go there. But
check out their analytics.
I do want to get an analytics guy on here from Pornhub. I think it'd be an amazing episode.
How? Yeah,
Well,
we gotta stop because there's like 1,000 questions I want to start talk about, and we'll get off top. We'll get way off topic.
It'll be like a 3 episode thing.
Yeah.
Like, so our next 3 episodes are our interview with Pornhub Analytics Steve.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's got a sweet name.
Steve. Steve's a good name.
Raul.
It's probably
My
Indian.
name is Raul.
Yeah, it's probably some Indian dude. I can say that because my wife's Indian.
Thank you. My name is Rajesh. Is that even Rajesh? Is that even a name?
That's an Indian name.
Yeah. Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry for the offensive.
Yeah. All 0 Indian
impression.
listeners of ours.
Yeah, I think I gave my Aussie impression from college. If not, I mean, college stories could be another episode.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
Yeah. So okay, back to the cam whores and whatever, right? I mean, it's allowed a whole group of people to make money, because now, right, they're not paying a ton of money to get you to their sites. They're doing free advertising. People are going to them, and like it or not, I mean, sex work is it is a legitimate business.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, they're making a living doing it. Some of them are just doing it right from their own home. I mean, social media has allowed it to happen, right?
Absolutely. It's created whole new markets.
So I guess the other side of, right, not just the other side, but another thing you see all the time on social media are just outrageous things that people do, right? Like people are posting just the craziest pictures of like a drunk guy falling off, an RV at a football tailgate. Like they're showing all these crazy things. Or Bill's Mafia is a huge thing. Like the drunk ass Buffalo Bill fans. Yeah. Like that's a huge social media thing because people, right? Everybody's out to get the likes, right?
Yeah, it's all likes and followers and clicks and all that kind of shit.
I mean, there's Rex Chapman. Do you remember Rex Chapman, the basketball player?
No. Like
90s. I think he played for the Hornets. He went to Kentucky. He was a good basketball player. One of the rare white dudes that could play above the rim. That wasn't 7 foot tall.
Right.
Very good athlete. But, dude, he has a huge, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of followers because he just reposts videos and he'll add a little funny caption. But the dude has millions of followers just because he's reposting videos that he had to have found them online unless people send it to him.
Oh, of him?
No, of just random shit. He just reposts it. Like Tosh. Like Tosh 0.0.
Yeah.
But he's just sending it on social media.
I mean, Tosh is he's a comedian. He's got a TV show, obviously. But, I mean, because of social media, he has a show. I mean, he's pulling all that stuff off the internet. It's
absolutely.
It's all either Twitter, Facebook, Instagram even, and you can run
They
videos.
even say, don't send us videos. So they're just out finding them.
Yeah. Because, the other reason they say don't send us videos is because they're going to do something fucking
stupid. You don't want
stupid.
somebody dying over some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like Jackass, right?
Yeah, like Jackass.
Well, I know they were before social media, but I mean, just saying, people were sending the Jackass guys stuff. And it's like, dude, you literally were in a coma for 2 weeks. Stop doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like, we're paid to do this.
Yeah. And it's not, we're not. Yeah, I'm sure they, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I had lost my train of thought there.
Must be a good drink.
That's my second one. Now the show's really going to take off.
But the like validation, man. I mean, everybody, we already beat that dead horse or whatever of the Area 51 when the guy came out and said, at the end of the day, I was just trying to get the likes.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you may have gotten hundreds of people murdered, or well, I guess shot.
At least shot.
If they really would have done what you said, like, dude, the government would have had, whether it's right or wrong, they would have had every right to shoot them.
It's a military base, and,
Right.
and you're told not to come on the base.
Right. You are warned repeatedly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so many of those things. I mean, that's a very egregious one. But, I mean, that stuff happens all the time.
Well, I mean, people do stupid shit. I mean, what about the remember the German family that wanted to ride their bike to Africa? And the mother was paying for all the bills.
Yeah.
And she couldn't afford to do that, so they were trying to do a Kickstarter campaign to pay
And
for
she
them.
was also working multiple jobs.
Like 2 jobs or whatever. But it's that. But that's the like factor there. That's the like. I got to get as many likes as I can. It's all. I saw something on Dr. Phil that some kid, I don't know how old he is, doesn't follow his family or doesn't talk to his family because they don't have enough likes or enough.
What a dick!
It's like,
I mean, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
because he actually said when you become famous, you don't. That's what happens when you become famous. You don't talk to your people. You talk to your family, and it's like that. That's how to touch that. Well, I don't know about most people, but that's how to touch that kid is because there are plenty of famous people that bring their family along with them, so they're still talking to their family.
dude, a lot of them, the social media people, I mean, still their families are part of it. You know, like, who's the guy? We talked about this. Ross, I think his name is. But, like, he has his grandma and all this stuff. The videos are hilarious. It's one where I said, like, his grandma was at the Arnold, and she's like, hey, nice tits. And it's a big, huge bodybuilder guy, you know? Like,
That's the Jimmy Kimmel. Is that Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah,
No, it's the Letterman. Remember Letterman would send his mother
his mom would be everywhere.
Yeah, his mom would be everywhere. She went to the fucking Olympics. Remember that when she sent me to the Olympics?
Letterman was great.
Yeah. Still is.
He's just not on TV. Or he's
I
got
think
the
it's on
Netflix thing.
Yeah, he's got Netflix. So.
He's just not. I mean, I loved Letterman. I watched him over Leno.
Yeah.
Not that Leno wasn't funny. I just thought I liked Letterman a lot better.
The Letterman show, it was different than all of the other. I mean, it was the same formula as most talk shows, but it just ran differently than other.
His sense of humor was different too.
Yeah, that's probably
like he
helped.
wasn't just the standard get on TV be funny guy. Like
Right.
he had a little bit of an alternative sense of humor.
Yeah.
I think a little bit dark. You know,
Yeah.
He says fuck a lot, not on camera, but I bet he does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he would challenge. What's funny is remember how when Trump was running or whatever, he was talking about. He would call them out on his ties. Remember about they're 100% American made. And he's like, let's see, and he pulls them out. I mean, he would challenge his guests. I don't know if anybody today would do that.
No, I like Jimmy Fallon. I think he's extremely entertaining. But everybody that's on there is his best friend.
Yeah, it's
like he is definitely not getting into a tough conversation. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's his thing. His thing's to have fun. Right. They play beer pong. They do a lot of fun shit. But I mean, he's not. You're right. I think that was a special skill for Letterman.
Yeah.
Colbert used to be good at that. I don't watch his show as much now, but Colbert was always good at that when he was on Comedy Central. I know he played I'm a Republican guy, which he clearly wasn't, but he could. And Jon Stewart did a good job of that too. They would challenge you.
Yeah, did a great job of that. So Trevor Noah, I think, does the same thing too.
I just find him harder to watch. I mean, maybe it's because I liked Stewart and Colbert so much.
Because Stewart's Jewish? Is that the reason?
It may help, Dave. But Colbert's not. But I saw on Twitter somebody posted a picture of him from the 80s, and he looked like a rabbi.
Who, Colbert?
Colbert. He had the beard. The only thing he was missing was a yarmulke. Some call that a thinking cap, Dave.
Yes. Okay. Financial thinking cap.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, the validation, I mean, it gets on my nerves, right? Like, if I post something on there, typically it's just to be funny. Like, it's not like I sit there and it's like, oh my God, I just got 50 likes. 50 likes. Oh my God, you guys got 50 likes. Like, I don't care. I'd rather somebody retort with something funny than like it. Those are the best because, I like a good debate. So I like somebody who can give it back to me. I like those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's funny is when either one of I always laugh because at some point you and I are going to be on and we're going to contradict ourselves on the same kind of feed. But what's funny is like because we're trying to be funny and we're trying to promote the show with little effort that we put into promoting the show. But I find it interesting when we say something, and I don't follow I guess I kind of follow likes to know how much of an impact we had on that. It's not like I need to have 500 likes or my life is over. It's more of like we get 600 people that retweet it, or we get 600 people that like it or look at it. It's kind of like, okay, we had that's an impact. People are we said something funny, or we did something funny, or we did something where people are kind of into it. So I mean, that's an angle. I'm sure there's some psychological things from that perspective too. From your what you said about people I need to get 1,000 likes or I'm a piece of shit. It's you don't need to get 1,000 likes. I mean, like I said, I'm not looking for that likes factor. I'm looking for how big of an impact of how funny is what I said.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's more of that's more of a what is the impact of what I said? Is it big? Was that a good joke? Was that a bad joke? Was that a
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I will say I do look for when I see that something's getting a lot of likes is I do the profile views. Is I want to see how many people are actually looking at the profile, and then are we getting any followers from it? I don't need the validation. I would like to get more followers for the podcast.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping. I want to get to that point where people are like, oh man, listen to episode 23. Funny as hell, guys.
Yeah.
Something
no,
like
absolutely.
that.
And that's the same person. We're both doing, I'm looking at we're both doing almost the same thing. It's almost what generates, what can we do to generate enough activity that drives people to buy? I mean, it's not we need the validation. It's more it's a business angle essentially. At the end of the day, it's kind of
I mean, we have fun doing this.
Yeah,
we always
fun,
say that.
Absolutely.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, here we are over a year later, and we're probably still in the 20s with with regular listeners,
right.
And it hasn't stopped. If anything, I feel like we want to do this even more because we have so much fun doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I 100% agree. So, so what did we talk about? We got Twitter, we got Instagram, Facebook. We talked about Tinder a little bit.
So the one thing, I think we touched on this a little bit one of the other episodes, but all the sayings, it's not catchphrases as much, but all the sayings that come from all the social media stuff, because it's trickled beyond social media even now to just conversation. How many people, people say the phrase LOL when you're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Not even just online, which that phrase bothers me. I don't know why. It just does, because I feel like people just say that, and it's you didn't even laugh at that, you monster.
LOL, Mike. LOL.
Bitch. Don't be a bitch. Dude.
You son of a bitch.
But, I mean, you know what I'm saying? That, what's the other one? When the people were the first few times I saw this, I thought it was funny. It would be this is me at such and such concert. And it's somebody, going crazy. And it's also me, somebody drunk, passed out.
Yeah.
At first, when I would see that, it was funny. But now that I see that 30 times a day, and we don't even follow that many people, I'm just God, this is so overplayed. It's annoying.
Oh, that whole...
all those types of jokes get really annoying to me.
Well, it's funny because you can apply it to anything. So everybody, they're putting their own spin on it. And it's this is funny the first time. It's funny maybe the second time. But by the fifth or sixth spin, it's just now it's old. And somebody's got to come up with something super creative. Somebody's got to come up with super creative to make, at least for me, to laugh again at it. Because it's I see those also me things or...
You're right. Only 5% of them are funny now.
Yeah, it's just okay, I get
Some
it.
of them are, but
Even the one, if it's a meme, but the one with the guy and the girl looking back at the other girl.
Yeah.
Me, my computer, and then the new PC or whatever it is. So, even those are fucking old as well too. But that's the other thing with social media. The reposting is fucking insane.
Yeah.
What that drives it. But if you're the original creator of that.
Yeah. So if you create a GIF or a meme.
Yeah.
And it gets tweeted 1 million times, do you get compensated? Right? If you get enough likes and enough followers, you somehow, YouTube, right? You get compensated the more people are watching your shit.
But don't you get compensated on YouTube as from an advertising perspective?
I think, but it tends to happen after a certain amount of followers or clicks or whatever. So that's what I'm wondering.
I don't know how the YouTube model works.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I know people are getting paid, or there wouldn't be all these YouTube and YouTube families who video bloggers or whatever, and
Yeah.
all these Instagram models, like they're obviously getting paid somehow, or they wouldn't. Their lives wouldn't revolve around Instagram if they weren't getting paid for it. A lot of them. Some of these people will do it again for the validation.
Right.
I mean, is it just they're hot, so somebody's like, hey, if I can stare at your tits, I'll pay for you to go to the Bahamas and just let me take pictures of you. And they're like, okay.
It's possible.
Man, check that dong out. You want to take pics over in Fiji?
No.
No, you can't do it with dudes. It's got to be hot chicks.
Yeah, I think the dude angle is probably pretty.
Fucking double standards.
Well, double dong standards. Yeah, I mean, true. I mean, you got. Well, like, the getting paid piece of it is like if you have enough followers, then people will pay you to go do things. So that's people. You see this all the time where I've seen it twice now. Two separate people, two separate hotels, but they'll email the hotel and go, "Hey, I'm an Instagram influencer with, 500,000 followers. I want to stay, whatever at your place." And they're like, "Okay, that's cool. And but we'd like you to comp the room." And they're like, "No." And they get all bent. We're like, "Fuck you. I'm gonna whatever." And he's like, "We've got a Facebook."
They say, "I'm going to use my influence."
Yeah,
I've seen that.
And the one dude's like, "We've got a Facebook page that has more followers than your Instagram." And it was hysterical. Like completely shut him down. It was awesome, but
good. But I've seen people do that. One person even said that they have like 1,000 followers. They're like, "Oh, I will use my my influence to make sure people don't do whatever." And it's like, what? You have 1,000 followers, and 400 of them just followed back because you followed them. I guarantee it.
Well, there's a bot too, right? I think there's you can actually fire up a bot that will like create user IDs or usernames to give you more followers. It's kind of funny though. So say you've got 10,000 followers, argumentatively from a social media perspective. How many of those are that dedicated to you to do whatever you say?
Oh, none. I mean, some, I guess.
So out of 10,000 people,
it's got to be
1,000?
a handful. Well, I guess it depends. Are you somebody that's extremely good looking, right? Like we follow Lindsay Pellis, amazing, smoking hot, huge, great, beautiful milk bladders.
yeah, absolutely. At 5'3", I don't know why she's got beautiful boobs, and I'm still hung up over the 5'3".
Dude, when
thing.
she posted a picture of herself nude, dude, it was incredible. I'm a fan.
We were following her already, but we're more.
Right. Oh, I'm following her. Yeah, but
it
again,
wasn't planned. You think I planned this?
Right. I didn't plan on it, but look at them. They're there. Phenomenal and real.
The 5'3" thing gets me. I don't know why, but
it's all in her chest, Dave.
Was it like, what did I say the other day? If she didn't have the weight of her boobs, she'd be 5'6".
You're probably right. But so again, she has a ton of followers. Mm-hmm. So she probably has a little more influence on people just because she's so beautiful, right? Mm-hmm. So that would be an example of somebody who probably has, if you're going by percentage, she probably has a higher percentage of pull than just somebody who has 10,000 followers. If you're just somebody who says some funny shit and 10,000 people happen to follow you, you can say something and they'll be like, whatever. They may not even read your shit. They followed you because you said something funny.
Well, that's funny because getting back to our kind of echo chamber too. Now if you've got like say 1 million followers and they're everybody is in the same echo chamber. If somebody says if that person says something without even listening to the facts on the other side, you're driving the split.
Yeah, no,
you know
you're
what I
right.
mean? I just thought of that.
So talking about the echo chamber thing, right? Now everybody thinks there's some kind of activist as well, right?
Yeah.
Like not everybody, but there's so many people who are there to support a cause and everybody's anti this or pro this or right. I mean, social media has allowed the anti-vaxxer movement to boom. Mm-hmm. Or honestly, I mean, nobody uses social media more than our current president. But I think nobody uses social media to hate more than people hate our current president, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody is, Republican, Democrat, whatever. I mean, I think the Democrats go harder, but dude, there's a ton of Republicans who dump on the guy.
Yeah.
But you told me the story about President Obama.
Yeah. So he was doing something. It's out there floating around. I'm probably not telling, to all 6 listeners. You've probably seen this already, but he was out there and he was talking about the calling out culture or whatever they call it. He called it something. I forgot what it was.
Cancel culture.
Cancer culture, something like that. Yeah.
I still don't know what that means, by the way.
Anyway, he was saying that just because you call somebody out on their whatever, he goes, and then you think that you've done something. He goes, you haven't. He goes, get out. He's basically saying, get out from behind the computer or get out behind your phone and go physically do something. Go protest. Go vote. Go run for office. Go whatever. He goes, you can't. It was pretty awesome actually. And some of my heavy Republican friends were like, I agree with him. You know what I mean?
That's what made President Obama great, are those things right there.
Yeah. And
not everybody has to like all his policies, but those things he was great at.
Yeah, and he basically, like he said, he goes, you just because you call somebody out and then you sit back and you're like, I've done good, you haven't done anything. I mean, you just called somebody out. That's great. You've
just been an asshole just as big as the person you're being an asshole to.
Right. And you know what? Calling him out, and maybe you called him out correctly because they fucked up, that's good for you. But that's not activism, is what he's saying. That's not activism. Activism is getting up off your chair, going to the protest, running for office, voting change, promoting stuff. I mean, it was actually, it's pretty. You wouldn't have thought it, but it was pretty solid. You know, I mean, like I said, I had some pretty heavy Republican friends were like, they agree with him,
because that statement is bipartisan or nonpartisan, however you want to look at it. That's not Republican and Democrat.
No,
that's pretty matter of fact.
Yeah.
And I hope people hear that, because I do. That drives me nuts, seeing just the way people are. I hate that side of our society now. Yeah. Everybody's offended. Everybody hates this. The whole world hates President Trump, which he does a little bit of it, quite a bit of it to himself with what he says. But because of that, he's also done some pretty good things when he's been in office. I'm not a Trump fan because of the asshole shit he says, but he's actually made some policies that have been pretty good. Nobody will ever hear it, though, because everybody hates him so hard. And then even same way with Republicans, they don't even point to those good things. They just hate the Democrats so bad that they go twice as hard.
Yeah.
So I think President Obama nailed it. And he was always a great speaker. I mean, that was the one thing. He was always great at rallying people. He could say the right thing. He's a good speaker in that way. When I see President Trump, I don't see a guy who's necessarily going to rally everyone together.
Right.
He can rally groups of people together. He's a lot more matter of fact than I think people are ready for. He's also a complete asshole at times. Yeah. But I think that's one thing where President Obama was good at that. President Bush did that with 9/11, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I think you've got you. I don't want to get into politics.
This is not. Yeah.
This is social media. Yeah, social media. But so did we cover everything here, or
did we give the cam whores enough?
I think we gave the cam whores more than we needed. It wasn't planned.
Right. If anything else, we got another good merch slogan.
Yeah, absolutely. What was it? I didn't plan for this. That's going on the back of a T-shirt, folks.
But no, I think a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I know we've said this before, but we want to keep it out there. We're going to get some guests in here. We're going to have somebody talk about some football, some rivalries coming up here next month, or this month, I guess.
This month, yeah. It's the first of the month.
It's November 1st. That's crazy. So I think we got a lot of good things coming up. Continue, reach out on social media. Follow us. Again, we're on all platforms. But we want to hear from you. Yeah. We want to know, what are the things that you want to hear as listeners? What are things we're not doing well you'd like to see more of? I mean, definitely, just like we're talking about all the social media stuff, be vocal. I mean, at the end of the day, we're men of the people.
Yes, absolutely. So thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Dave.